Termos eli terve, meaning hello and welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Reviews. This is Hail Conjurer and I'm Jerry. We're gonna review this latest album by this one-man project, always super active, always super nice personality behind the band. So Hail Conjurer has been pretty much doing an album a year since the conception of the band, or should we say solo project, and this ain't no exception. The style has always been roughly the same, rather barbaric, rather crude, grim, simplistic, bare-boned black metal with no gimmicks, no bullshit and all that stuff. That doesn't mean, however, that this is some super raw or super, back to the very, very basics. I mean, it's kind of like that, but then again, it's beyond of your simplistic Venom copycat riffs and all, with some synths and all that stuff put into play. But mostly it's about channeling black metal essence in a very, very personal, unique way, incorporating elements from second wave black metal to something that goes beyond the basic melodic things. And the album, of course, is Satanic Phenomenology, and here it is, in essence, Satan is essence and manifestation. So this is the booklet with lyrics, with commentary and beyond. And like said, only one man band, only one man in the band, I was supposed to say, of course. And here it is on Metal Archives. Since its foundation 2017, the band has been putting out quite a few releases. I mean, look at the vast amount of things. Now, a lot of people will now say it's red flag. You know, when you have a one man doing everything from the vocal parts to guitars, drums, what have you, it's gonna raise those bedroom black metal red flags. Now, sometimes this is indeed the case. Very often, when one man band does songs, you get the feeling, okay, he's probably using some bad drum machine or drums made by computer and all, and everything is just, you know, laid down like at the rehearsal room, which often means literally bedroom, workroom, whatever you have. But with the case of Hail Conjurer, man of various bands, doing vocals for some bands, drums for the other. Now, in this case, we're more like talking about vocalist drummer setup rather than, say, guitar player trying to figure out the rest of the instruments. Not putting down or saying his guitar work isn't important or valid, solid, all that stuff, but just pointing out the difference. I mean, usually it's the drum part, which is either done by a session drummer or by a machine, or sometimes one-man band takes a session vocalist in order to figure it out, everything. But here it is more like a drummer and vocalist that is coming from different bands, doing everything else on top of those main roles, if you will. And this has led the band to do quite a few albums already, and like I said, one album a year, and on top of that you have splits, demos, compilations even. So what is Satanic Phenomenology all about then? Well, first of all, it's a pretty classic output in the sense it's 9 tracks, 36 minutes almost. That is, none of these tracks are super lengthy. None of them are like, okay, 3 tracks in 40 minutes or so. That's what I'm pointing out here. These are pretty basic in the terms of structure and all, with the exception being the last track, which is almost 10 minutes. Now, on top of that, you of course have rather basic riffing. By basic riffing, I mean there is nothing fundamentally avant-garde-ish or out of the comfort zone of black metal. I mean, of course, you could go for various styles and say, okay, one band is more atmospheric and some other are more symphonic and all that stuff. So here we are more getting closer to what is more like bare bones. Some might say this has more to do with the first wave of black metal than any of the more modern stuff, but let's not do the line drawing so, how to say, strict ways. I'm more like saying, if you have heard previous Hail Conjurer albums, you know pretty much what to expect. Then again, if not, this will be a harder cookie to crack for a couple of reasons. First of all, because there is only one man of the band, it's pretty much one brand, you know, like a vision in a sense, how the songwriting is done. And that is often run with rather simplistic riffs. That with rather crude production means that this is not for people who like big ass productions and complicated songwriting parts, or like said, symphonic avant-garde, or even atmospheric parts in the sense like let's do overly dramatic, lengthy track writing, but more like let's get it done in 3-4 minutes, get the hell out of there and move on. Now, in terms of the style, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with that. Of course, I mean, whether we're talking about the very early ways and era of black metal, a lot of great stuff was done, very, very simplistic approach. But with Hail Conjurer, it's always been a little bit different, and that goes for good and bad. I'm saying this, seeing the band live, which is very interesting considering it's one-man band performing alone. But that is a different execution than when you're comparing it to albums. I mean, of course, you're going to give a little bit of leeway when it's a one-man band live, and you're like, okay, it's pretty interesting that some of the stuff is more like done with playback and all that stuff. But with albums, you are probably more critical. I know, at least I am. And I have had this rather bumpy road with Hail Conjurer as a listener, as a fan, as whatever. Thing here is, I really respect the artist a lot. I like what he's doing. I like that he's a kind of a lone wolf in the sense of being one-man band and doing his own uncompromised style. But there is sometimes these two-edged sword kind of things. And one of the things here is, this time in my opinion, the crude production isn't really serving the purpose here. I am saying this in a way that while this kind of music kind of requires rather raw or unpolished approach to the music in question, I think now it's a little bit like something is lost in the process. It's more like these riffs and these drums would need something more powerful in order to execute the feeling. Now it's more like sounding, yeah, you made a demo in a full album format. And don't get me wrong, I am totally fine when rawness is executed in a way it's really, really raw, but powerful enough to support the music. Now it feels like something was not done as it was, in my opinion anyway, supposed to be done. In terms of songwriting, can't really bitch about it. It's basic Hail Conjurer, not the best, not the worst of the style. But I only wish that this would really, really have more power. Because, like I said, sometimes you just feel a little bit extra punch in the thing. Like even simplistic riffs, I mean, you can't really go wrong with certain very, very simple 3-chord procession and all that stuff. But if it sounds like crap, it's not gonna really do any kind of waves. Of course, there's gonna be people gonna be divided upon this. I mean, like some people will say, yeah, it's supposed to be this grim and raw crude. You just don't get it. You're dumb enough. Maybe I am. Or other people will say it doesn't matter what kind of production this would be. It's too crude, too boneheaded, too bare bone and all that stuff. Whatever the style. So it depends. I guess the biggest Hail Conjurer fans will be totally happy with the result. And those who are now getting to know the band for the first time with this album, I don't think this is gonna be the one that actually turns them in as like returning customers, being fans that want to go for more. Maybe I'm wrong, and in a way I kind of wish. But I'm saying, if you are into crude, grim, simplistic black metal, and you don't mind that lacking a punch, this is totally to go for. But if you're looking for something more powerful, something with more impact, well, maybe this isn't exactly the album you're gonna start your Hail Conjurer fandom to begin with. I would say go with the previous one. But these are matters of taste. So of course, you do what you do. Links are provided in the description box. So give it a go, give it a listen, and decide for yourself. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.